Welcome to the Ashmolean Museum and the Viewing Art Mindfully podcast. My name is Ruth Collins and I'm a trained mindfulness teacher working with the Ashmolean. I would like to introduce you to the practices you will be doing today. We will begin with a mindful arriving and preparing to view practice. This will be followed by a talk from one of the curators from the Ashmolean, who will guide you mindfully through a specially selected object from the museum. Coming to settle. Ideally, you will be sitting on a seat that supports you to be upright, relaxed, but alert, with your feet placed easily on the floor in front of you. If you feel comfortable about doing so, allowing your eyes now to close, otherwise letting your gaze drop and soften so that you are not looking at anything in particular. Setting an intention now to arrive fully by connecting with a sense of the body sitting. Perhaps you can feel the distribution of the body's weight on the chair. Let yourself be fully supported by whatever you are sitting on. Once you feel settled, just checking in with your position. You might want to adjust your posture slightly to feel more comfortable. It can be helpful to lengthen the back a little, relaxing your shoulders, opening your chest, tucking your chin in slightly to elongate the spine to allow for a smooth flow of breath from the nose or the mouth all the way down to the abdomen and back again. Now, bring your awareness all the way down to your feet, with the intention not being to think about your feet, but to feel sensations in the feet. Notice the point at which your feet make contact with the floor, the balls and the heels of the feet, the toes. Perhaps you can feel the toes lightly touching each other, or maybe you can feel the texture of any material that's resting on the feet, or the firmness of footwear encasing them. Allow yourself to gently and curiously explore each and every sensation that you can detect. And if you can't feel anything, that's fine too. Just being curious about this also. All the while, the mind will intrude and try to pull your attention away from the focus of the feet. Whenever this happens, as best you can, coming back to simply feeling sensations in your feet once more. Now letting go of your feet, turn your attention to your seat, your buttocks, your sit bones, your thighs on the chair. Bring your awareness to the sensations of sitting, the firmness of the chair beneath you, the point at which the thighs extend beyond the end of the seat, perhaps, the sensations of clothing in contact with the skin. Maintaining as best you can a simple, non-judgmental curiosity as you explore sensations of touch and pressure, returning to the anchor of sitting whenever the mind tries to entice you away to think about something else. As soon as you notice this happening, bringing your awareness mindfully back to whatever sensations you can identify while sitting on the chair. Moving the attention away from sitting now and shifting the focus of your awareness to your hands. Feel your hands whilst they're still. Perhaps the hands are resting on each other, or laying on your lap, or the chair arms. Just taking a moment or two to explore sensations wherever you notice them. A feeling of roughness or smoothness from the surface they are lying on. A sense of softness or firmness of touch. There may be skin-to-skin contact where the hands connect. A sense of the spread or closeness of the fingers and thumbs. Working from the tips of the fingers all the way through the hands now. The backs of the hands, the knuckles, the palms. You may feel coolness or warmth as the air lightly brushes over the skin. The mind will wander as minds do. Whenever this happens, patiently and gently returning your focus to the physical feelings and sensations of the hands. Letting go of the hands now, bringing your awareness to your upper body and to the sensations of breathing. Not needing to change how you're breathing, but just tuning in to the natural rhythm of the breath that is already there breathing for you. Notice how the abdomen gently rises and falls as you inhale and exhale. For a moment or two, just focusing on following one breath all the way in and one breath all the way out. Perhaps being aware of a slight pause between the breath as you breathe in and the breath as you breathe out. If the mind drifts away or gets caught up in thinking, simply drawing your attention back once more to the anchor of the breath and the body sitting here breathing. With full awareness of the body sitting here, right now, and whilst continuing to keep the eyes closed or the gaze softened, gently expanding the spotlight of your attention to become aware of sensations in the body as a whole. Perhaps you feel the body moving slightly with the breath. A slight rocking or swaying, or points at which the body makes contact with another surface, a slight tingling sensation, the coolness or warmth of the skin. Widening your awareness further, perhaps you can detect other things through the senses too. Maybe you can hear sounds around you, sounds near and far. Keeping the focus on the aliveness of your senses, preparing to open your eyes now, ready to bring your full attention to the work of art presented in front of you.
Hello, I'm Matthew Winterbottom, and I'm the Curator of Decorative Arts and Sculpture in the Department of Western Art here at the Ashmolean Museum. I'd like to talk to you about this beautiful set of gold and enamel jewellery that was presented to the museum by the Legg sisters in 1964. The set consists of a necklace and earrings that were made by the Parisian jeweller Alexis Feliz. They were purchased from the Paris International Exposition in 1867 by the sisters' father as a gift for their mother. All of the pieces are made of gold decorated with cloisonné enamel. In this ancient technique, pliers are used to bend thin strips of gold, which were then applied to the surface to create cells or cloisons, which were then filled with enamel. The process was meticulous, difficult, and expensive. Let's look more closely at the necklace. See how it is carefully constructed from 10 gently curving sections that are jointed together to form a perfect circle that fits closely around the neck. The circumference is actually very small, and Mrs. Legg must have had a very tiny neck. The curved sections are connected by flexible joints between them. Each joint is covered by a gold flower. The joints make the necklace less rigid and enable it to move with the contours of the body. Look how two different alternating types of flower are used, and how the surface of each flower is engraved with fine detail to show the individual petals and stamens. Each curved section of the necklace is made up of a flat strip of gold, decorated with Cloisonné enamel. Look at how the individual gold wires have been laid onto the surface to form intricate patterns that have then been filled with coloured enamel. See how only one individual colour is used in each cell. Enamel is a kind of powdered glass that has to be fired in a kiln to fuse with the surface of the gold. Once fired, it has to be carefully polished to reveal its vibrant colours. Suspended from the front of the necklace are 5 enamelled gold discs. If you look closely, you can see that the central disc is the largest. This is flanked by smaller discs in descending order of size. The outer edge of each disc is decorated with small gold balls, evenly placed around the gold rim. Let's now look at the decoration of the necklace. Look at the brilliant colours of the enamel, and note how 3 different shades of blue are particularly prominent. The maker has clearly been influenced by colourful Japanese woodblock prints that were arriving into Europe in the 1860s, following the opening up of Japan. See how the decoration consists of Japanese-style birds and flowers. The gold wires are cleverly placed to show the individual feathers and petals. The curved bands of the necklace show sparrows, kingfishers and cranes, together with cherry blossoms, bamboo and other flowers. The central disc shows a bright yellow bird among leaves against a pale blue background. The bird looks up towards a large flying insect above. Note how the yellow is particularly effective against the blue. The smaller side discs also show colourful birds sitting in trees against the same pale blue background. The 2 smallest discs each show a large flower. Look at how the maker has carefully balanced the colours across the 5 discs. The pinkish grey of the flowers surrounding the birds to the right is also used for the single flower on the left, and the white of the daisy-like flowers around the bird on the left balances the large white flower on the right. Let's now look at the 2 earrings. One is composed of a disc suspended from a 2-tier pagoda made of open gold wirework. Like the pendant discs on the necklace, the edges are similarly decorated with small gold balls, but the bottom has additional gold wirework. Each disc is decorated with a flying heron in shades of white, grey and black amongst reeds, against a bright blue background. Note how the blue background matches that used on the curved sections of the necklace. Perhaps rather unexpectedly, both the necklace and the earrings are fully reversible. They are just as extravagantly decorated on their reverse sides as their fronts. This enabled the wearer to wear the set in several different ways, according to how they turn the individual discs. When we look at the reverse, we see that the different shades of blue are no longer dominant. The back of the necklace sections are vivid yellow, decorated with simple 4-petal flower-like motifs in red and black. There are no gold flowers covering the open joints between the sections. See how the joints pivot on a central point, allowing movement and flexibility between the rigid curved sections. The central pendant shows a colourful rooster in red, yellow, black, brown, blue and pinkish grey. He's with a much less colourful hen, and there is a tiny chick to the right. The off-white background evokes ivory. The disc to the left shows a bird in the branches of a flowering tree against a pale blue background, and that to the right, a blue and white baluster-shaped vase in front of a grey open fan, painted with 2 white rabbits and a full moon. The vase contains a stem of yellow flowers. The background is a rich russet red. The 2 smaller outer pendant discs are decorated on the left with a swimming duck and on the right with a butterfly. See how the duck is composed of different blues that harmonise with the different blues of the background. See also how the flow of the water is shown on the background by using an S-shaped band of pale blue enamel against the darker blue. See also how subtly different shades of yellow have been used on the wings of the butterfly, and how these contrast so well with a bright blue background. We finish looking at the reverse of the earrings. The off-white background again evokes ivory. It is inset with branches of cherry blossom of the same pinkish grey used elsewhere. Two blue and black birds with vivid yellow throats play among the branches. Although the two discs may at first look like mirror images of each other, if you look closely you can see this is not the case. There are many differences in the two designs. The set is an early example of Japanism, the craze for all things Japanese that swept through Europe following the forced opening of Japan in the 1850s. Western artists and craftsmen were fascinated and beguiled by the distinct aesthetics and the fine workmanship of Japanese arts and crafts. However, Felice's vivid jewel-like colours were actually inspired by Chinese enamels. As noted by a contemporary critic, Felice and his highly skilled enameller Antoine Tard experimented to create a palette of 60 or more colours as fresh, intense and vibrant as the old cloisonne of the Celestial Empire.